Okay, so it's now Sunday night. Tell me about how did today go?
Today was a good day for me. Well, for me, as far as I enjoyed the people that came today, and I almost didn't sleep all night because even when I was able, the medication kicked in, and I was able to not have pain. My roommate, who uh, probably had more advanced case of whatever it is, and not very capable of talking. Um, when I would hear him moving around or doing something, I know he whimpering, and he couldn't help himself. So I would press the button, and they would come over, ask me, and I would say it's Charles. And at one time I heard him; he was gagging, and I knew he was gonna throw up. So I pressed it, and they came, and by the time they didn't take long, but by the time they came, he was already throwing up, and it was a bad night for him. But I kind of kept an eye on him as far as, I would ask him, Charles, do I press the button? And he would, oh, yeah, or no, but he could barely talk. So that kind of the night was kind of ruined. By 6 a.m. maybe, I got a chance to maybe start catching on some better sleep.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm mostly tired, but since I'm on medication, the pain, right now I'm not feeling pain.
What are you taking right now?
I don't know, some kind of something stronger than morphine.
Now, you were actually able to eat today. Tell me about what you ate.
I ate the breakfast right around lunchtime. That's nice. The toilet going on. Eggs and bacon. It was good. I don't think I threw that up. Yeah, I digested that. Eggs and bacon. And something else. Then later, by the time I was done with that, they brought the lunch. So I wasn't going to eat it. It was that cheeseburger, which yesterday smelled really nice, and it was actually very good. So I waited a couple of hours, and it was still warm. I ate most of it except for a little piece, because people were coming in at that time. And I had some flan. Had these fries were soggy, so I didn't have much of that. And
you were able to keep it all down except?
well, I think the latest was the flan, and being that it's sugars and whatever, and I just took a high dose of the initial first 20 minutes or so. I shouldn't eat before or after 20 minutes of the
Hey, boss. You ended up throwing up.
to see
What are you about to eat right now?
chocolate mousse by a hospital. I'm not sure, since it's been sitting there for maybe 3 hours, easily 3.5 hours.
Are you sure you're going to be able to hold that down?
I'm not sure anybody could hold that down. But since I'm used to picking up an MRE off the ground and eating it, this is not going to be much of a problem. Let's see, chocolate mousse. So, but the best part of the day today was, could be colder, but it's good.
Tastes good?
The best part was the visits. I had, I forgot who was, my wife and daughter came first. And then my in-laws came. The girls, they look upset, but they were happy to see me. One of my nieces is actually fascinated by my foul language. and the fact that I'm weird. Go figure, she's got to be weird herself. And then my other sister-in-law, her daughters came, and her husband. But then my boy from the army came. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years. This kid and I had a connection. He didn't grow up with his father. So when I first met him, and we got assigned together, he thought it was going to be he figured, oh, I'm with the old man. Nobody likes to get stationed with the old man, but then we hit it off, and he said later he was glad that he got assigned to me more than to anybody else. I told him a few things. For example, he used to say, axe. Let me ask you something. Till I corrected him. He never knew the difference growing up. So now he says, ask. I talked to him about school, expanding his vocabulary. I gave him this CDs about vocabulary, and he expanded his vocabulary by another 2,500 words or so. He went to school, got his ASN, and now in a year he'll get his BSN. So I'm very proud of my boy. What else did he do? I bought him up one time, because he grew up in a bad neighborhood in Staten Island, but he wanted to change his life from that. He wanted to be different. Even though his brothers mostly do drugs and everything, he wanted to be different. So I set him on that path. One time I bought him a 25 cents, one of those thrift stores, book on being a gentleman, what a gentleman does. He read this thing through and through. And, he acts like a gentleman, good kid. So he was thanking me for setting me in the right path. He expressed one time how he loved if I had been his dad. So being that I was older, he used to call me grandpa. So when he started calling me grandpa, which usually the older guys people call pops, but all of a sudden, pretty soon I had like 6 or 7 people calling me grandpa, his friends. So he was here. I was very happy to see him, and that he's doing well. And then my other friend from the lodge, he's the worshipful master now. He came with his girlfriend, and so we talked a lot. We have to catch up a lot more. But I was happy to see her. Everybody came genuinely loving me, and it's very uplifting.
So what about, tell me a little bit about your conversation with the doctor, what you talked about.
Well, the doctor is still being vague, waiting, until tomorrow's result. And, it could be 3 months, it could be a year. But we talked, he's still surprised how he missed it, but he didn't miss it. We both did. There was no real way to detect it, because I kept reassuring him that he was very thorough, I was very thorough. We did more than any doctor does or any patient ever asks for. As far as when I go to a physical, I ask for extra panels and everything. And we did, and this thing got around us. It's just, he's still amazed how, even though I'm still in good health outside of those organs, that's the thing that threw us off. And there was no real signs. Or when there were the signs, like pains here and there, I would ignore them because I'm otherwise healthy. I would have, assumed there was something else. So,
how are you feeling right now?
Since I'm still on the medication, I'm no pain. And I wanted to take a shower because for 2 days I didn't shower, and the way put the sheets, they're too close to the plastic, and I was sweating all day, and I thought I smelled, and people say no, but they were being polite. So it just so happens I was in a shower before everybody came, never had a chance. But I was able to take a shower a little while ago, and I'm all refreshed. Tonight I'm probably going to have a good night's sleep, I think, as long as I keep the meds coming. That's the part that I'm not going to like about this, that I'm going to have to, in order to properly function, I'm going to have to be on a lot of pain medication. And I could take a lot of pain, but, you know, it's either take pain or be on pain medication. You know, just the only, well, that's not the only bad part about this. The bad part is dying. But, what else? Oh, there's always a slight chance that it might be a lymphoma and not cancer, which changes the game. But still, there's a lot of pain going on here, and, you know, all around it's still going to be an uncomfortable life. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not depressed, that's the thing. I'm not depressed, I'm not angry. Surprised. But not really depressed so much as, because my sister-in-law asked me today, she says, do you have a bucket list? Have you made one? She's gonna make one. And the thing is, I've already lived a life where I've done things that if I told people, they would think that I'm either lying or it's unbelievable. The things that I've done, most people would dedicate their lives to doing that one thing, or that would be their accomplishment. I've done things that only in the movies you see. So I haven't done everything I ever wanted, but I've done a lot. And my number one accomplishment, my kids. Then after that, pretty much everything else is gravy. Things that I've done to, I mean, one is even like in the military, being as old as I was going back, where, you know, let's face it, I lied sometimes about some of my breakdown, how broken up I was, but I could show that the shell looked good, and the show was good. So I was able to do things that most people at that age would give up or not even try. And I still probably could. I mean, if it wasn't for this thing, I could try anything again. But, so yeah, I don't have any regrets. Even the bad things, I regret them. I've done everything bad I ever did consciously. That you know, why go with regrets? And the good things, well, they're just good things. I would have liked to do a couple of more things. Like run for office and be Speaker of the House.
What are you hoping to hear tomorrow morning?
I'm not putting any mind to it. If it's bad, I'll take it standing up or laying down. If it's good, then I'll still have to make adjustments. Either way, I'm going to have to, you know, like pains and things like that. I'm still going to have to get treatment. If it's bad, I just want a little bit of a time frame, some knowledge of the time frame. And if it's good, well, then it's good. But Of course, I'm hoping to, oh, you look, we had it all wrong. You know, it looks not so good, but well, I'll take it as it comes and deal with it. The one thing never to do is to have high expectations, and you won't be disappointed. You never, this is another thing why people sometimes, even in the military, you go on a mission and you think plan A is going to work. I don't even bother with plan. It's not that I don't plan. It's that I don't bother being a fanatic about plan A, because 1 second to the next is going to change. So why, as soon as expect change, and as soon as it happens, be ready for the next step. So I'm not gonna, you know, like, oh, it could be something else. I expected worse. If it just happens to be better, then good. But, you know, it's setting myself up for disappointment if I think it's gonna be good, and it's not. So this colonel friend of mine, she's a nurse. She has a master's in nursing and a PhD and so forth. Very intelligent, very strong, and well, most people would think she's a bitch, and she knows that she calls herself that. But it's mostly because she's strong-minded and very opinionated, and we connect. We always connected because we have the same personality, and you know, that's very not confrontational, but people don't like it when you express what has to be said. Although she uses less persuasive methods than I do. I don't know if it's because of her rank or position that, you know, she's figured she doesn't have to answer to people, but she gets in trouble all the time. But she was very upset because I sent everybody a text. My texts are quick. I have pancreatic and liver cancer. I'm dying. I'm done. It was good to hear from you or knowing you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. So she called me. She was upset. And the one thing she asked me is, can you do me a favor when you get to the other side? Can you send me a sign? Yeah. We got to work on that one. And she was upset. Unfortunately, she's stationed far away now. But she says she's going to come up so we can get together. We always connected, even when other people wouldn't, even though she way outranked me. It's a funny story how we met, but then we connected. A good friend. But yeah, she asked me, people, what I find is that people just want to ask. I'm sure I always did too when I see someone dying. What does it feel like? That's the reason you're doing this too. What? You know, they want to know something. So I wanted them, yeah, ask me. What does it feel like when you're going? It's a curiosity because nobody ever comes back to tell you. But yeah, everybody wants to ask. So the reason I'm doing this too is I don't want everyone to be shy about asking me. Ask me. Ask me how it feels. Physically, I have pain. Emotionally, I have no fucking idea. I don't know. The only thing I think is gonna be a bummer. And I've had that dream sometimes. I'm sure other people have too. Is that last breath. And then it's gone. That threshold. And I think that's the one everybody wants to know about, but I'm not there yet. I'm in no rush to find out. But that's the one that people want to know about. Is there a crossover? I think that's what they want. crossover? Is there another side? Because even with religion, people still don't know. But they want to ask you. It's like everybody wants to, like, asking me now, how are you doing? How am I fucking doing? I'm sick and I'm dying. You know the answer. But I think what they always want to ask, and somebody did, my sister-in-law and people like that, is, what does it feel like? Right now, I'm not severe enough. I'm not intubated. So I don't really know what it feels like. They say that when they guillotine, they studied at one time. People said chopped off, and they said that the head lived, was able to do something for another 30 seconds or so. Look into it. I don't know how they determine that, but I assume that that's, it's not like that. That's pretty miserable, but you're gonna die, and here it comes, your head is gone. So I'm glad that I'm not going like that. I'm not going in a fire, that'd be bad. Or having my head sawed off by ISIS. Would I have preferred something fast? Maybe, but then would I have the opportunity that I have now to say goodbye to everybody, which I'm doing. Even with the party that they don't want to do. That's part of the closure for everybody. Not that I have to accept dying, but we're all going to die, but I want to go on my own terms. So I want to put it in my ease and just be able to tell them what it feels like. Not that I think I could. But somebody has to. I hate to be the first one. Most people wouldn't have the balls to cross over and try to. They're surprised why I'm not devastated or depressed. I'm not. Because I realize that it could be worse. It could be sudden or more tragic. Not the way I would have preferred. I would have preferred to go in combat or fly in a plane or motorcycle or something, but it does give me an advantage to be able to talk and to say goodbye. So it does have that plus side. The only bad thing is, well, not the only, everything is bad about it, is that, I could have used more time. 50 years is kind of a short time. My fault for not cramming a lot more stuff in, for being lazy. I could have filmed a lot in 50 years. A lot of other people have done a lot in 50 years. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years. And he was someone important before and even more important after. So sometimes a lot of years go wasted. People shouldn't waste them on trivial shit like unimportant stuff like Facebook. Or don't waste time doing things that don't accomplish anything or do anything for the world. I was happy that at least last night that guy, and I just met him, that I was able to do something for him. Nobody, well, the nurses knew, but nobody else could know or appreciate afterward, and I didn't need appreciation. But I was happy that I know he's probably in his last couple of days. But I was glad to be able to be there for him at those moments that he needed it. So people should look for more moments like that to do. That's just me. I don't always like to wear a cape, but sometimes you have to. I wasn't wearing a cape there. It was just had to be done because he needed attention. But yeah, I find that a lot of people live real empty lives. They really don't make a difference. I knew today that I made a difference in I knew about my kids, made a difference in their lives,